Hi there and welcome. I am really excited to talk to you today. I'm always really excited. I'll be honest. I recognize that I say that I'm really excited, but genuinely this stuff gets me very fired up and I love sharing it with you. So very genuinely, I am excited to share with you and I am excited that you are here. So today we are going to talk about 5 tips to write a great email, especially when you're nervous. So I can recount plenty of times when I have crafted an email and nothing short of agonized over it before pressing send. And so these are my tips basically of how to write a great email even when you're stressed and when you're nervous. So these are our really important emails. These are follow-ups after an interview. These are asking for an interview. These are sharing bad news for something. You should never share bad news for the first time via email, but sometimes you have to. Maybe it's recapping a really difficult meeting. Whatever it is, sending an email that you know is important and you want to get the message right and you're a little bit nervous about it. So here are my tips. Let's jump in. All right, so number 1 tip, double check the spelling of people's names. Please, please, please spell people's names correctly, especially if it's already part of the email. Like if you got an email from them and you are returning the email, or you have a business card or something, you should have a record of this person's name written down somewhere that you know and you can trust. This is especially crucial if this is the first time or one of the first times that you are sending an email to someone, because a person's name is important to them. I think it's Dale Carnegie who said the sweetest word to a person is their own name. Names are important to us. They signify our identity. Pay attention and spell them correctly. I have a pretty common name. Like people know my name. It is a name that is well known. Everybody can pronounce it. Like all the good stuff. And it is spelled Jamie. And I get so just kind of confused to see the different ways that people spell my name, even though it's like it's right there. Like it's right there. For you to spell it correctly and not Jaime or Jaimie. It's a really important detail. So before you send that email that you're nervous about, please double check people's names. Just double and triple check it, because it's one of those things that it's not a big enough error that you should send a follow-up for. I mean, you could, but it's just one of those where it's like, yep, that ship sailed. It also sets the tone for the email, because the majority of the time it's, greeting, name, hi, Jamie, dear such and such. That if that detail is missing, then it really kind of hurts the whole experience. So double check people's names. Avoid the dreaded premature send. So this is tip number 2. When I'm filling out an email and it's one that I'm nervous about, I will fill out and enter in the to field last. I will write the entire body of the email. I will put in the subject. I will double check it, triple check it, and not until I am ready to press send will I actually fill in the to field. That way, if at some point I get a little keyboard happy and I hit a keyboard shortcut and it press sends, or my mouse goes a little rogue and finds the send button on its own, the email doesn't know where to go because there's nobody in the to field. And so it won't send before I'm really ready for it. So the third one, make your point and make it clear. So whatever the main point of your email is, if it's an ask, if it's a thank you, whatever, put it in the first 1 to 3 sentences of your email. I love a good buffer sentence at the very beginning. Hi, Jamie. It was so great meeting you the other day. Hi, Jamie. Thanks so much for blah, 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 blah. Here's what I'm after. This is why I sent this email. It is really important to appreciate people's time and to accommodate for that. And the easiest way that you can do that is by getting to the point. Throw a buffer sentence in there. It makes everybody happy. It feels like we're trying to connect, which, you know me, I love connection. But then get to it so that we can move along and we can get your problem solved, or we can get your question answered, whatever it is. In addition to that, use your formatting tools. So to help make your point and make it clear, use, line breaks, the return key. Break it up into different sections. Use bullet points. Use as few words as possible to communicate the information that you're trying to convey. But using those formatting spaces, like line breaks and bullet points and all of that good stuff, will make it really easy for me to scan it and understand what it is as the recipient that you're trying to communicate to me. And especially in these instances where you're nervous about something, there's got to be something about this that is important to me, or at least you think that it's important to me. So make it really easy for me to understand what it is that you're trying to convey to me so that I can understand what to do next. The last one is craft your subject line. So there is quite the science and the art to this. And truthfully, this is the part that still trips me up the most. I can make the most beautiful subject line. I can wait till craft the most beautiful email body. I can wait until the last minute to put in the to field. I can, use Grammarly to spell check and all of that. But the subject line is hard because you want it to be concise enough that it doesn't run off and run out of space for the tiny little area that it has to be the subject line in an email preview. But you also want it to be significant enough that someone understands what it is that they're about to open. And if they're coming back to search for something, it's very easy to find and relocate. The other major trick with this is, always put either the project name, if it's going to someone who doesn't already have that context, put the project name in there. Or if it's going to an external partner of yours, always put your company name in there so that it's really easy, even if they know your name. Again, if they're searching back through, they can say, oh, I worked with Company X. And when Jamie sent me an email, she said, Company X, project point of contact. And so it's really easy to find. Also, if you have a specific action that's requested or that sort of thing, you can always prepend your subject line with action requested, meeting name, email recap, or something to that effect so that it is very, very clear to the recipient that you intend for them to react to the message that you've just sent them. Bonus tips. Bonus tip number 1, set up your email signature. So especially if this is going to someone new, your signature, the bottom part of your email, is a great place to put some extra snippets of information about who you are, ways to get in contact with you, what your role is on the project or within the company, whatever it is that, consider it metadata about who you are, to give context to the recipient. And that'll be good for them to be able to place this email and be able to respond accordingly. I mentioned it earlier, but download Grammarly or some other sort of spell check software. If you're using the built-in one, just be sure to do that. Don't have typos. We have sufficient software at this point that double check it, especially if you're nervous, especially if it's a high pressure email. Just double check, make sure you don't have any typos. Use a software to help you. Next tip, if you don't have to send it right away, wait. Give it a few hours, give it as long as you can, and then come back and reread it. Is there anything that you're missing? Is there anything that doesn't quite make sense and you need to rearrange the sentence? You need to rearrange the whole body of the email so that it flows more naturally and more accurately conveys what it is that you're trying to convey. And along with that, if you do have time and you have a trusted coworker or friend, get them to read it. And if they say, oh, actually, this one part, I didn't quite understand what it is that you were trying to say. Or, hey, Jamie, you said this one phrase 3 times throughout the whole email. Maybe that's a little overkill. Can you mix it up? Or I know that I overuse adverbs and I overuse the M dash, which is a punctuation mark that basically does everything that a comma, semicolon, period, parentheses. It's just very, very flexible and I abuse it. And so if I can have someone else look through the email and be like, hey, here are the things that I saw, and this would make it just that much more polished. That's all that I've got for you. So next time that you are feeling a little bit nervous about sending an email or even just a general email, these are some great tips. They have certainly saved me plenty of times. They are from my own lessons learned where I did not do these things and regretted it. So they are now part of my everyday when I'm sending emails that make me a little sweaty palmed, because what's life without a little sweaty palm email? All right. Thank you so much for being here. I hope this was helpful, and I look forward to next time.